for what they did at this special difficulty time. Yet, even with this growing popularity and widespread usage of this mode of education, there are several methods, misconceptions, and misunderstandings about it. Below you can see a list that I separates the facts from fiction. That is of top 5 misconceptions and misunderstandings about teaching online in my eyes, and I will show one by one with you as quickly as possible. Okay, now let's look at the first one. The first misunderstanding and misconception about teaching online is teaching online is easy. Actually, this is one of the most common misconceptions and misunderstandings that people have regarding teaching online. Lots of teachers, parents, even some students believe that it is easier to teach or learn a course online than to do that in the traditional school settings. However, the truth is that the two modes of teaching are just different. They are just different in many perspectives. You can see online courses require more self-direction and more stronger commitment, and students have to be more responsible to get work done on time, although they may have more flexibilities learning online. I think almost all teachers, all the participants and the audience today know, you have experienced a couple of days teaching at home. The biggest challenge in my eyes is time management for everybody. So please think about your students. You can think about your students. You can think about their learning styles. It is absolutely not easy. The second misunderstandings and the misconceptions about teaching online is someone think that, it's not my business. Someone think about that, it is. It is a special time in mainland China because of the novel coronavirus disease from Wuhan. It is a hard time and a special chance to push everybody, every teacher, students, parents, especially teachers and students, to teach online. The teaching online and conducting blended learning is the direction and the trends of the teaching in K-12 schools and universities and colleges in next 30 years in my eyes. So actually, in my eyes, there is no way ahead of us. Every teacher, no matter what subject you teach, math, Chinese, English, physics, maybe PE or arts, etc. Every teachers, no matter you teach in K-12 schools or vocational education or in the higher institutes such as university and colleges, every trainers has to be a tech-savvy teacher or trainer. We have to. There is no way ahead of us. Everything have to be changed by technology. Everything around of us. So it is a right time. It is the right time to teach online, and it is your business. right now. It is your business right now. The third misconception and misunderstanding about teaching online is someone think that teaching online is just like talking in classroom. Just as I mentioned before, there are lots of differences between teaching online and teaching in the physical classroom. Your students may get distributed and you cannot see them. I cannot see you now. I don't know where you are. I don't know your gestures. You sit there or you just stay where, maybe living room or your dinner table. I don't know where you are. I don't know what kind of gestures you have. So you don't know your students. You cannot see your students. Your students study online alone and it may be lonely. So it's totally different learning environment, totally different tools, and a totally different experience to teach online, to learn online. So the learning performance of teaching online, learning online depends on the teachers and the students' digital competency and their information literacies, their skills. So we can see someone said that the teaching online is not live broadcasting, or we can say live streaming. Teaching online is not only live broadcasting. Broadcasting is just like you present your slides or give a lecture or talk in your physical classroom in the campus. The live broadcasting is one of the ways to teach online. It is just like lecturing or presenting in a real classroom. And we can see the lecturing or presenting in the physical classroom is just a small part of students' learning activities. So, the fourth misunderstanding and conceptions about teaching online is someone think that the quality of teaching online is lower. It is easy to assume that online learning or online teaching could never compete with the on-campus level and experience. Many are afraid that they won't get the same quality out of their online courses compared to their on-site counterparts. Since there are so many online courses available, lower quality courses cannot survive amongst a large number of high-quality courses. It is absolutely a wrong idea and a totally misunderstanding. They think the quality of teaching online is lower. We see great examples. A great example I try to share with you is the online learning platform Skillshare. Skillshare, many of the courses in Skillshare or provided by Skillshare features tens of thousands of students, and for good reason. We see the CC, what we used now is the CC Talk. You can say the CC Talk, there are lots of excellent courses, online courses there. Lots of excellent tech-savvy teachers who teach online, and we can learn from them, and our students can learn from them. English, math, and the teachers can do their own professional development. Their CC Talk like online courses also. The fifth, the last one, the last misunderstanding about the teaching online is that my students knew how to learn online. Actually, students varied dramatically, and many different perspectives. You need to make sure your students have online learning skills and competencies. And your students need support and guidance. There are individual differences among our students in different perspectives, such as self-discipline ability, the student's motivation, their personal interests or digital competencies, information literacy, their learning habits, learning styles, and abilities to manage their time. So we have to help our students, to support them. And we have to support and guide our students. Actually, some of our students are very, very good at learning online. So we have to be co-learner of our students. And there are skills in learning more effectively and efficiently to learn online and teach online. Okay, that is the top 5 misconceptions about teaching online I want to share with you. This is the second part. But we can see by now we have more than 113 participants from different parts of the world. If you like, you can input your location in the chat box and let everybody know where are you come from and where you are now. So if you like it, just input your city name there and let everybody know where you are. That is the second part I try to share with you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you can see Julia from Shanghai, and someone from Australia, and someone from Beijing, someone from Shanghai, and one from Keqiao, Wuhan. And I hope everybody, no matter where you are, be safe. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Thank you. So that is the second part. If you have any comments, feedback, or questions about the 5 misunderstandings on teaching online I just share with you, please scan the QR code in the screen or click the link in the chat box which was provided by Julia. Click the link and provide your questions, feedback, and comment there. At the end of my talk, I will show everybody's comments there in the screen, show to everybody. And if the time is enough, I will go through one by one. And I'm eager to learning from you guys. And thank you so much. Okay, that is the second part. Now let's look at the second 3. The third part of my online talk is 5 tools for live education broadcasting. Or we can say the 5 preparations you have to prepare for your teaching online. It is very, very important. We can see some friends from my hometown, from Guangdong, and someone from Lanzhou. We can see someone from Hebei. Thank you so much for join this online talk, and we can see by now we have totally 845 audience. Okay, the third part, the 5 tools or preparations I supposed for you. It's the 5 tools and preparations for your teaching online. And the number 1 is place to teach. You have to find a place to teach in your house. You have to teach at home. Maybe you have your home office. Maybe you don't have one. Maybe some teachers, they visit their parents. You just stay there. You don't have your home office there. And you need different kinds of equipment. And some teachers want to know what kind of equipment I have to prepare. And some want to know what kind of software I have to have. And what kind of internet connection I can use, and about the instructional design. I think you need the most important and most difficult preparations in my eyes is the great instructional design. That is the greatest challenge ahead of every teachers who want to teach online. Totally the 5 tools, or we can say 5 preparations you prepare to teach for your live education broadcasting. Okay, let's look at the first one. Because of the difficulty time, everybody know, it's a hard time for teachers today in mainland China. We cannot visit our campus. We cannot step into the physical classroom. We have to work at home. We have to teach online. So I don't know where you are. Maybe you participate in our online talk in your backyard of your house. Maybe you stay in your living room just where I am. Maybe you just sit beside your dinner table, or you have your own home office. No matter how, I think you need a place to teach, comfortable, and no one disturb you. That is very, very important. That is very, very important. If you teach online, please let your family members know you are working. You are working. Please don't disturb me. I am teaching and I give class to my students. Please don't disturb me. So work at home, teach online, that is first preparations you have to prepare for your teaching online. I think it's easy. And I try to recommend a book for you. It's a very, very good book. It's entitled Remote. Remote is a very, very good book. It's a book that 21st business leaders have been waiting for. And there are lots of profound advice from guys who succeeded in the virtual workforce arena. Actually, we work at home. We teach online. We work at home. And we have to know what kind of challenges ahead of us. Is there any skills or tips we can learn from that? So you can read this book. It's a good one. I think it's worthwhile for your reading. You can have that one. That is the first preparation or tools in my eyes you have to prepare for your teaching online, for your live educational broadcasting. The second topic, the third one in my eyes, you can say you need some equipment. Equipment is very, very important. In order to get started with live education broadcasting, or we can say in order to teach online, you need some equipment. You need some equipment. If you broadcast a poor quality stream, your students will lose focus, even if the content itself is great. So for this reason, I recommend that you can invest some high quality equipment if it is possible. You can see the picture here. I show you, it's one of my visiting scholars, one of my colleagues who named Li Zhigao. He take his home office to us. You can see all the equipment he showed us. It's absolutely super luxury home office, right? Actually it's over equipped. So don't worry about the equipment. So you can have different kinds of ways. You can have different kinds of choices. So you have your mobile devices. Mobile devices will be great. You can do that. I think there are lots of participants and audience now are using their own mobile devices to join our online talk. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are participating in our online talk via your mobile devices, please input number 1 in the chat box and let us know how many people, how many audience use mobile devices. Please, come on, please, ladies and gentlemen, input 1 in the chat box and let us know you are using your mobile devices to participate in our online talk. So Julia and Cassie, please count how many audiences using mobile devices. Please, you have to tell us how many audiences and participants using mobile devices. It's a hard job for Julia and Cassie. It's a joke. I'm sorry for that. You can use your mobile devices. You can use your laptop. You can use your iPad. So if you use laptop, please input number 2 and let us know you are using laptop. Please, ladies and gentlemen, please input number 2 if you are using your laptop and let us know you are using laptop to presenting our online talk. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Of course, you can use different kinds of pads. You can use your iPads, you can use your Android pads, and if you use your Android pads, please, ladies and gentlemen, input number 3 and let us know you are using your pads to attending our online talk. Please input number 3. Thank you. Input number 3 and number 3 presenting you are using your iPad or other Android pads to attending our online talk. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Of course, you can use your desktop. Desktop is useful today also. You can use it to give your presentation, you can teach online, or you can attend digital conference or meetings which was organized by your school or your teaching group. If you use your desktop, please, ladies and gentlemen, input number 4 in the chat box and let us know you are using desktop. Oh, it seems that no one use desktop. Am I right? Okay, we can see by now we have about 946 audiences and participants there. Thank you so much to join us. Thank you so much. This online talk is a free event which was initiated and organized by Cambridge Assessment International Education, special for teachers who need to teach online. And thank you so much. I hope you can benefit from my talk. And I know you have a lot of questions and comments. Please, you can scan the QR code and click the link which were provided by Julia and Kathy in the chat box and input your questions, feedback, and your comments in the question and answer page. And I will try my best at the end of this online talk. Okay, that is the second part, the equipment. You need one of them. You don't need all. You don't need to have so much equipment. You don't need over-equipped like Li Zhigao did. Okay? So the second tools or preparations for your teaching online is software. Yes, you need software in order to teach online. But there are so many choices. We can see, today there are lots of softwares and solutions which were provided by different kind of companies. It is absolutely a difficult job to make decision and choose software for K-12 teachers to teach online. So actually, in my eyes, two kinds of softwares you need indeed. The first one is a software or tool for live broadcasting, just like the CC Talk we are used now. The second kind of software or platform you need, yes, you need it, is course management system. Let's say something about the course management system. Actually, the course management system is, also we named it a virtual learning environment, or we can say it is an e-learning system. Someone used another words, learning management system. Originally, there is a name also is content management system. Actually, a course management system is an internet-based application that provides different kinds of tasks or activities to help you to teach and help your students to learn. A CMS is applications that provides your students, to access your course content. And the application can help you to manage your students' enrollments. And you can use that to monitor your students' performance. A course management system and a learning management system are terms used to refer to a CMS. Maybe we can use CMS to represent content management system. Okay. In this page, if you can say in the screen, there are lots of logo and icons I showed to you. It's absolutely quite popular and famous course management system, solutions. The number one, maybe we can say that one of my favorite one is Moodle. Actually, it's an open source course management system which was produced by PhD students from Australia in 1997. And it is the number one course management system. It's open source. Everybody can customize it, can use it in your school, your institutes, your college, and your universities, free of charge. And of course, you can use another one. Another one is Easy Class. A couple of days ago, a Canadian school used Easy Class, and I gave an online talk to teachers who teach in this Canadian school. And they use Zoom plus Easy Class. Easy Class is a free of charge course management system. Of course, you can use some business solutions. The number one is Blackboard. Especially the Blackboard is so popular. I think in the universities and the colleges, Blackboard is the number one solutions for universities and colleges. You can use Schoology. Schoology is quite popular these days in North America, in Europe, in English countries. It's quite popular. And if you work in mainland China, maybe you can use UMU. UMU provided different kinds of language versions. You can use it in English, Mandarin, you can use Spanish, Russia, they provided different kinds of language versions. You can use Rain Class. You can use Rain Classroom. Rain Classroom is a product produced by Tsinghua University, one of the leading university in the world. And you can use CC Talk. The CC Talk, which was the one we are using now. You can see by now we have more than 1,017 participants in the audience participating our online talk. It's one of them. And it is free. And they provided English version also. You can use it in English version. You can use it not only for live broadcasting purpose. You can use it in course management tasks. UMU, CC Talk, and Ring Classroom have some kind of functions and affordance to manage your classroom. You can deliver the learning materials, tasks, and assignments and homeworks to your students. And you can organize different kinds of activities in this kind of platforms, such as quiz, survey. You can use this kind of things. You can do some kind of brainstorming or share videos or materials. You can have online meetings also. It is great. You can see the easy class, they have English version, they have Chinese version, they provided different kinds of language versions. In the home page, in the official website of the easy class, there is their slogan. The slogan is that your class is only a clicking away. They provided a short video for you to learn to use Easy Class in the home page of the Easy Class. They tell you learn about Easy Class in just 2 minutes. Actually, it is not easy as what they said. Okay, you can say this page is the course management system I used in past 20 years. And I used it in past 20 years. Actually, it's one of the open source platform named Moodle I just mentioned. Our university customized it and give it a name, Liru Online Courses. And we can use it for different kinds of purpose. Actually, our university provided 2 solutions for teachers and students, for all faculties and students. We do use Moodle and Blackboard for our different kinds of programs, as well as our training activities. We are teachers university. My university name is South China Norm University. Actually, I told my foreign friends they are not familiar with normal university. They don't know what that means. I told them, it's absolutely a abnormal name. It's a Russian way. Normal university means a university which mainly focuses on teachers' preparation. We have pre-service teachers programs from bachelor degree, master degree, and PhD degree, and we do lots of teachers training activities. We provided help for in-service teachers also. Okay, you can see there are a lot of modules and functions in the Moodle platform. It's a quite popular course management system, and especially in universities and the colleges. There are lots of K-12 school users also. Maybe this morning during our rehearsal and preparation, Julia told me that maybe I have to explain a little bit more about the course management system, because it's a professional vocabulary, professional terms. The course management system. Maybe if the teachers don't know, or we can say if the participant never used course management system, maybe they don't know what that indeed. So actually, I list 7 functions here, and you can say what a course management system or a learning management system can do, what kind of benefit from a learning management system. Of course, you can deliver your content. A learning management system maybe have a module special for teachers. You can build your course. You can prepare your lesson plans. You can prepare or edit your syllabus. You can do some kind of preparation in a course management system. You can do some kind of member management. You can manage your teacher team. You can manage your students. You can look at their learning activities. You can share materials, contents. You can deliver your assignments, homework to your students. You can organize some kind of learning, online cooperation, and collaboration. You can give your students tests, quiz, assignments, homework. You can have the students learning reports. You can have reports. You can have your students grade books. And you can have a bulletin board, and you can use it to do some kind of discussions, forum. You can give your students announcements and something like that. A course management system is absolutely very, very important for your teaching online. You give your students live education broadcasting or live streaming is absolutely not enough. It is very important, but it is not enough actually. So we just mentioned a lot about the course management system. Now we have to explain a little bit more about the live broadcasting platform. You need a course management system such as Easy Class, maybe you need a model or some kind of course management system. Meanwhile, you need tools or platforms to organize your live broadcasting also. So you can say that is live broadcasting. I used a couple of days ago, one of them, and you can say this one, CC Talk is one of them. In the one I showed to you, it's not CC Talk. It's another live education broadcasting platform named Zoom, ZOOM. Casey and Julia, please input the name. You can input the name there, and everybody can use it. Their URL, the official website is www.zoom.us. If you are international visitor, you can use another one, www.zoom.com.cn. if you come from mainland China, you can use it. It's free of charge. You can use it. You can see there are different kinds of functions. Actually, I did not appear in Los Angeles, not in United States. I stay in my parents' home in northwest China, Shanxi province. I just give a virtual background. It is just a click. That everything will be great. The background of your video is quite good, and your students will love it. And you can see there in the bottom of you can say there is a lots of functions. You can manage your participants. You can share your screen. You can organize chat. Maybe you can use a breakout room to organize some kind of group video discussion. It is fabulous. It is fabulous function Zoom provided for teachers to teach online. It's very, very good one. And there's another one is this is one we use now named CC Talk. You can just, Juliet, can you please input the URL of the CC Talk in the chat box, and everybody can use it now. And Michelle Zhu told us in the chat box, ZOOM.cn has no time limit. Everybody, if you come from mainland China, please use Zoom.cn. There is no time limit for basic account. Basic account is free of charge. Cassie, please input ZOOM.cn also. It's free of charge and no limits, no time limits. It's great, and thank you so much, Zoom, for your contribution, your company responsibility, social responsibilities. Thank you so much. And you can see this one. It's a Tencent classroom. You can almost the same functions at the control bar. You can control your voice, your video, you can share a screen, you can invite your videos and your participant and the audience, you can manage your participants, you can chat with your audience, you can share documents, you can customize the functions. It's great. And this one is Tencent Classroom. They provide some kind of interactive modules. You can see there is a clickboard. The students can choose to engage in the real-time quiz, and the teachers can show the students' results and the performance in the screen, just like what we did in the physical classroom. Okay, there are so many tools special for live education broadcasting, and I list some of them in the screen. You can see there is WeChat. WeChat originally, Julia and I discussed about the solution we will use this afternoon, and Julia told us there are about 400 Cambridge teachers in the WeChat group, WeChat Cambridge PD group there. And they have already organized different kinds of activities in the WeChat Cambridge PD group there. But it is not easy to control. It is not easy to share ideas. So we choose the CC Talk. We can use the CC Talk now. And we can use Zoom. Just now, a lot of participants and audience used Zoom. It is a fabulous tool. I used it for more than a couple of years. And we have Tencent Classroom, and we have Ding Talk. Ding Talk is very good, which was provided by Alibaba, maybe, I'm not sure. And we have company WeChat, we have Xiao it's a business solution, and you have to pay. Xiao is a very good one, but it's business solution, and there is no basic account. So if you want to use it, you have to pay it. Maybe your school or your colleges can provide it, this kind of platform for teachers and students to teach online. That'd be very, very good. And ladies and gentlemen, by now we have totally 1,113 audience from different parts of China as well as from abroad also. So that is the two kinds of softwares you need. Actually, I want to give a very, very quick summarize about this section. We in the classroom in campus, we did face-to-face teach and learn activities. The teachers give lectures. The activities in the physical classroom will be teachers talk and students listen. It's synchronous activities happened in the same place. That is our physical classroom. And after that, maybe the students in home in other parts of their area, maybe the teachers give the students printed textbook or mute their materials, reading materials, to help the students to learn asynchronous. And in teaching online settings, we have to have live streaming, or we can say live education broadcasting. We can organize this kind of online talk or online webinar, and all participants to visit the same website or platform, just like what we did in the physical classroom. We visited the virtual classroom in the internet. It is a synchronous teaching and learning activity. It is just one of necessary part of teaching. And meanwhile, you need the course management system for your own management purpose, or you can do different kinds of activities to share your learning materials, give your students homework, and students submit their homework. And maybe students can organize different kinds of interest group or special interest group to develop their own interest. Or they can do some kind of collaborative and cooperative learning activities via the course management system. It's a kind of synchronous learning activities happened in the virtual space in the internet. Okay, so that is the third part, the third tools and preparations for your teaching online. And I think you need this kind of tools and preparations in order to teach online. The fourth is a stronger and reliable internet connection. If you want to do some teaching online, you need a reliable access to the internet. Stronger internet connection is very, very important. Actually, you need the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi can help you, with high-speed internet connection to give your students a very good and comfortable learning experience in the virtual classroom. If you don't have the internet connection, some teachers reported that maybe they visited their parents, they maybe live in a hometown in a small island in the far beyond of the northwest in some developing areas. Maybe they don't have strong and reliable internet connection. Actually, if they don't have 5G, but also if you have 4G, you can have the chance to teach online. And you can use your mobile phone digital signals to teach. That'll be enough. If you're familiar with the CC Talk, there are three kinds of solutions for you. If you have a lower internet connection, or you just have your mobile phone signals, you can use the lower solution. I choose medium solutions to teach. The internet connection in my parents' home, it's not bad. It's great. It's great. You can have super luxury solutions, which was provided by CC Talk, but you have to pay. It is not cheap. You have to pay for that. Okay, that is the fourth preparations and the tools for teaching online and for your live education broadcasting. It is very, very important. The fifth and the last one in my eyes is the great instructional design. The great instructional system design is very, very important. Actually, a good teacher can teach online good. A teacher who teach just so in physical class, he will teach worth in the virtual learning environment. So, we have to improve instructional design, especially for teaching online. Traditional in a teacher-centered classroom, instructors control the environment because they have a monopoly on information. But in an online course with instant access to vast resources of data and information, students are no longer dependent on the faculty for knowledge. Learning is becoming more and more collaborative, contextual, and active. So, all teachers who want to teach online must identify their students, their objectives, and design courses for the students to meet their needs, and then consider how the online environment, just we mentioned the live educational broadcasting tools and a course management system, it's an online environment can serve the instructional objectives and activities of that course. Different kinds of course management system provided different kind of modules, and different modules have their own functions and affordance to support different kinds of activities which were needed in your teaching and learning sessions. So, this requires changes in pedagogy with learning-centered instruction. Teachers takes the role of facilitators of information while guiding students towards solutions. So we have to take on new roles in the teaching-learning relationship. Effective online instruction depends on courses appropriately designed and facilitated by experienced teachers. Just as I mentioned above, online learning environments allows for a range of interactive methodologies, and the teachers find that in adapting courses to online modules, so they pay more attention to the instructional design of their courses. So as a result, the quality, the quantity, and the patterns of communication may improve. That is very, very important. So, there are lots of instructional strategies for teachers who want to teach online course, such as I list here. There is some kind of learning contracts. You have to have a learning contract with your students. You can organize some kind of discussion, give your students lectures, just like what I'm doing now. You can give your students online webinar, online talk, live educational broadcasting, or live streaming. You can help your students to learn self-directed, or we can say self-regulated, and mentorship, small group work, collaborative, project-based learning, or collaborative learning, or case study, forum, panel, symposium, etc. Actually, you can see there is not so many differences among instructional strategies for online courses and for face-to-face sessions. If you are familiar with teaching online, all the instructional strategies you are used in your physical classroom will be used effective and efficient in your virtual learning spaces also. Okay, by now I have already summarized all 5 tools and preparations for your teaching online and for your live educational broadcasting. I think the top 5 is very important, and if you have any feedback, questions, and comments, please click the link in the chat box which were provided by Julia. Thank you so much for your hard work, Julia. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please scan the QR code in the screen and deliver your comments, your feedback, and your questions. And if I have enough time at the end of this online talk, I will go through and we will deal with the questions and the comments you provided one by one. I'm not sure, by now we have about 1,190 participants. It's amazing. It's an absolutely amazing experience for me to have so big classroom size. Okay, thank you for joining us. Okay, now we have to step into the section 4. The section 4 is the top 7 tips I prepared for your teaching online. So if you want to teach online, there is 7 tips I try to share with you. And I listed the 7 tips for preparing to teach online effectively and efficiently in this page. And I will go through one by one and I will show you my ideas about that. The first one is plan your classes patiently and carefully. I have mentioned that your students in a virtual classroom, they are not physically in front of you. That's why so many teachers who just teaching online told me that they felt a heavy out of control. The feeling of out of control, and they are nervous a lot. So that's why, because your students are not physically in front of you. So planning is essential not only for an online classroom environment, but also for your physical face-to-face sessions also. So plan your classrooms, plan your classes and online course carefully, patiently. So your virtual students are different. Their needs are different from when they are in real classroom. So you have to have plan B. You have to have your plan B. And in the third part, I mentioned, the 5 tools and preparations is what you have to prepare and what you have to plan for your online course carefully for your teaching and teaching online effectively and efficiently. So be sure to have your syllabus and materials laid out clearly before class starts. And this will give your students an opportunity to say if your classroom, the deadlines, materials, homeworks, other requirements, even the online policies can fit into their lives. It is very important. Actually, originally, generally, this kind of materials always be published in your course management system. But some of the platforms, they have both functions, such as the CC Talk, such as UMU. They not only provided functions to organize live education broadcasting, but also they have some modules to help you to manage your teaching materials, help you to provide materials for your students. The second tips, in my eyes, is to be familiar with the platform. Actually, for students, for teachers, as well as for your students also, your teaching online requires a certain technical fitnesses. So you need a reliable computer, a strong internet connection, you need a place to teach, and you need the best platform to meet your needs. There is no best solutions, according to your requirements and your own situations. So do your research and really play around with Zoom, with CC Talk, Easy Class, or Module, or other platforms. And knowing your online classroom platforms very well will help you make your classroom the best it can be and give you special and comfortable experience to teach online. So it is very, very important to be familiar with the platforms. The third tips I want to share with you is to set up a good work environment. In the past couple of weeks, some schools have already kicked off their teaching online, and lots of teachers experienced a lot of chaos. You can see in the news report, in the web page, a lot of reporters, teachers, students, and parents complain about teaching online. So, the third tip I want to mention here is you have to set up a good work environment. Working at home is amazing, but challenging. Originally you have to visit your campus. If you work in Beijing, if you work in London, if you work in Guangzhou, Shanghai, maybe you have to spend 1.5 hours on the way to the campus. And after the school, you have to spend another 1.5 hours on the way home. It's terrible and horrible. It's bad experience. It makes everybody discomfortable. So working at home is amazing, But you have to notice that working at home is challenging heavily. It requires a perfect environment and a good amount of self-discipline. Working from home can become a nightmare if you do not have the competency of self-discipline, time management, and the skills and competencies, abilities you needed to work at home. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think you have to keep your work environment free from distractions. You work at home, maybe your mom don't know you are working, maybe ask you to, come on, please, sweet, let's have dinner now. Maybe you have to make the place quiet. Maybe please quiet and tad with natural light. As a nice chair is very, very important. Ladies and gentlemen, look at the picture I show you. That is the physical places I'm working now. I'm working here. You can see the clothes hanging over there behind me. It is normal, but I do want to show this kind of goods to you. It is not a good place for my students and for my audience participants. So please look at everything behind me. But in some platform, that one I used in Zoom, there is a virtual background. You just click, there you can change the real environment into a pleased pleased virtual background like this. So you can choose virtual background in Zoom, but I'm sorry, I cannot do that in CC Talk. Even I cannot open the camera because there are 1,257 participants in our room now. It's a heavy burden for the internet connections. That's why I didn't open my camera. So that is a picture. I show you how to change the physical background, the real environment into virtual background. You just click there and makes a choice, then you can choose one. The virtual background will be okay now. The fourth tips I want to share with you is please do not talk. One of the quotations, one of my favorite quotations is like this. The best way to learn is to do, and the worst way to teach is to talk. So ladies and gentlemen, if you want to teach, no matter where you are, no matter which patterns you will choose, just like what we have to do now, teach online or you teach in your physical classroom, you have to innovate and stimulate discussion among your students. And we know online classes run differently from traditional classrooms. It is likely to make people feel cold and mechanical if you don't familiar with your environment. Initiating and encouraging discussions can do a lot of good in terms of how your students feel in the classroom. Ladies and gentlemen, we have provided, you can see Julia doing a lot of job. Julia, please. Julia, please don't do that. If you do that, maybe our online talk will last for another 6 hours. We will get more than 300 questions. We don't have so much time to answer questions. I'm sorry for that, Julia. Thank you so much. It's a joke. Thank you. So you have to encourage your students and participants to engage and participate as you would do in real classroom. There are a big variety of ways you can encourage your students to participate, such as you can group discussions, posting lectures, assign reading materials, monitoring process. Maybe you can have a quiz. Okay, if you like, we can do a quiz here. I'm not sure. Maybe we can have a quiz. Ladies and gentlemen, I will initiate a quiz. Please prepare now. You can use your devices to participate in the quiz. And it's open now. I'm not sure if you can participate in the quiz. Please input number 6 in the chat box and let me know you are working now. If you cannot, please input number 1 and let me know what happened by now. Thank you so much, Cassie, and thank you so much for everybody. Please submit your ideas. There is just an example. Please don't care. Please don't worry about the correct or wrong. Just participate, make a choice. It's an example. And I want to show you how to engage your students to have a quiz and let you know what happened in your classroom. Okay, we have 20 students submit their homework, and I have to close the quiz because we don't have so much time to finish the quiz. Give everybody so much time to finish the quiz. We have to finish at 8. I will have to stop the quiz. Everybody, you can see here is results. All totally 93 people submit their results. You can say the correct reads, and you can see Liang, the correct reads is 75. You can see everybody, the results. You can collect the data. A lot of teachers worried about the students if they give online live broadcasting because they don't have the vision. They don't know what happened in the student's side. Maybe you can give a quiz just like you did in your physical classroom, and give them a question and ask them to participate and contribute and share the ideas. It's a potent way. And thank you so much for your sharing. Okay, it's a discussion. Now you can keep your students involved on the weekly basis as opposite to just collecting assignment. There are different kinds of ways. We have a synchronous discussion, engagement, and a participant. Meanwhile, you can have a synchronous way to help your students to be engaged and participate in the discussion in the course management system. Students' engagement gets your students working with the materials in ways that they may not do on their own. And this helps your students to get more out of your classroom and more than just a grade. And you can see the screen I show you is I captured from Zoom. Zoom, there is a module named breakout rooms provided by them. It's so fabulous. You can organize distributed virtually video group discussion in your online sessions. It may be provided a better experience than that in the physical classroom. In the physical classroom, the students' group discussion maybe disturb each other. But in Zoom, in breakout room, your students can have their own video classroom, and they can have group brainstorming and a discussion, and they can do this kind of thing there. It's fabulous. It's one of my favorite modules. That's why I love Zoom so much. Number 5 tips I want to share with you is communicate regularly. So communication is essential in your teaching sessions, no matter in the online classroom environment, but also in your physical classroom sessions. So you have to introduce yourself, just like what I did, and give time for your students to do so too. Because I'm sorry I didn't give you time, because we have 1,315 participants now, and you can help bring in hospitality and warmth into your classroom, which online classes sometimes may lack. But for teachers who teach the regular classes online day by day, so your students may know each other very well, even though you have to make your rules and policies in your virtual classroom, which may totally different from rules and classroom policies in your physical classrooms. I list some of them to you in my classroom, a virtual classroom. Here I listed in the rules and the policies in my virtual classroom. Ask your students to change the profile in the platform. Look at the participants' name. It's so difficult to name. You can't use the number 5. The name of the participants named U6WQ 5WKXP3F. It's very, very difficult to recognize and a very difficult to name, actually. So you have to ask your students to change their profile in the platform. Use the real name. Use their real names, and use their real head pictures. Please ask your students, do not change the figures during the live broadcasting, and they have to raise their hands for questions and log in CMS or LMS regularly. And I ask my students have to log in the course management system at least once in a week. Otherwise, they will have trouble. And finish and hands-on their homework in time, and enforces classroom policies and rules. Actually, ladies and gentlemen, I want to share my horrible experience. Look at what happened in my online talk for more than 300 students a couple of weeks ago. You can see what happened. You can see what happened in the screen. I give them a presentation. I told them what they have to do. You can see so many creatures, boys and girls, they try to challenge the professor who give their online talk, because I forgot to close the students' notes. So I show the slide to them, and the students, naughty boys and girls, just take notes, different kinds of notes there. They just make trouble with me and challenge me. So please be familiar with your learning and teaching environment, and give your students classroom policies and rules are very, very important. So not having teachers physically in front of them, they may make some students feel nervous. So try to ease this by answering questions in a timely manner and provide plenty of instructions and feedback. So maybe you can tell your students can meet you virtually, regularly, visit your virtual classroom. I provided my virtually classroom in the CC talk, and my students can visit me in the given time. The number 6 tips I want to share with you is motivating your students. So everyone, every learner learns differently, and motivate motivation plays a big part in the learning process. So while some students are self-motivated in that learning something new is all the motivation they may need, and some students may not be. So assignments that are not required may be skipped by the later students. So we have to take different kind of ways of approach, strategies, and skills to engage your students and push them to learn online. It is very, very helpful for your students to learn online. So think of ways to motivate all of your students to get the most out of your class. This may include giving extra points for online discussions or optional assignments. Deadlines may also help push forward your more unmotivated students. And our goals, is to find ways to help our students to get the most out of your classroom without the advantage of the real classroom, and I take advantages of virtual classroom. It is so cool, so good. The seventh tip I want to share with you is ask for feedback. And your students can provide you with valuable feedback that can help you move your classroom forward, move your online course forward. Some of your students are tech-savvy students. They are digital natives. With education moving online more and more, your students having probably already experienced at least one online classroom. Maybe they registered a lot of massive open online courses. Maybe in your grade 7 classroom, one of your students have already get more than 10 certifications from edX, from Coursera, from maybe 学堂X, maybe CC Talk. This experience may help them to inform you on the positives and the negatives of your overall online classroom, and they can be your teaching assistants. Please invite your tech-savvy students, your digital natives, the very, very good boys to be your teaching assistant. It will be helpful. That is one way to ask for feedback and get help. Of course, you can get other help assistants. Besides your students, you can also seek out and connect with other online educators. Ladies and gentlemen, the Cambridge group, PD group, the Cambridge WeChat PD group, actually it's a global community. It is very, very good community of practice, special for teachers who teach English in mainland China, guided by Cambridge Assessment International Education. It is a global community. You can learn each other. We can learn each other. Education is a sharing field. And so these connections could prove invaluable to your online educator development. Okay, that's all 7 tips for preparing to teaching online. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, you can just click the link which were provided by Julie and Cassie and input your questions. And I will, I have only 20 minutes. I will try my best to answer your questions at that time. If your question did not answer because of the short time, please forgive me. So, at the end of my online talk, and I want to share one of my favorite quotations with you as my conclusion of this online talk. That is Paul Holm's saying. The best way to learn is to do. The worst way to teach is to talk. No matter where you are talking, in your physical classroom or talking online. The worst way to teach is to talk. That is my presentation. And thank you so much for your participating. And by now we have 1,373 people participating this online talk. And thank you so much for joining us. And now I think it is questions and answer session now. And I'd like to exchange my ideas with you. And ladies and gentlemen, any questions, comments are welcome. If you like, maybe I can give you a couple of friends a chance to share your questions voicely. But I'm sorry, I changed my ideas. Maybe we can do that textly because we don't have enough time. And please give me a couple of minutes, and I have to open our question and answer page. Yeah, and you can do it in your own mobile devices. Let me find out the page. I have to, sorry, I have to prepare a little bit. Please give me a couple of minutes. And okay, and by now we totally have 34 questions. It's great, not too much. I'm so lucky. Okay, let's look at the questions. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have already read the questions I listed here, please input number 6 in the chat box and let me know you have already read it. Please input number 6. I'm not sure whether you can read it or not. Okay, you can read it. Now let's look at all the questions we got by now. Okay, we totally have 35 questions. Now let me say the first one. We can say the first questions. The first question is how to enter the Cambridge PD WeChat group. It is the Cambridge PD WeChat group was run by some colleagues from Cambridge International. Please, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to join the Cambridge PD WeChat group, please input your email box in the chat box, and Julia and Cassie will click your email address and tell you how to join the Cambridge PD WeChat group. But I'm not sure, by now, I don't think maybe they need to set up another WeChat group. That one maybe enough people by now. So that is the first question. Let's look at the second one. Okay, the second question. Thank you, Johnny, and thank you so much, friend. Thank you. It's one of my favorite feedback and a question. I try to give you 5 stars. It's great. Thank you so much. You are so kind. Give me a very good feedback. Okay, let's look at the third. Can you recommend the best way to check a student's learning that is efficient during online classes? It's a good question and it's a hard one. And recommended tools. Okay, thank you so much for your good question. It's a good one. Actually, it is not easy to check a student's learning efficient and their performance, but I think you need a good course management. If you have a good course management, just like module we used, in module there is lots of ways to help you to check out your students' behavior in the course platform and their performance online. That is the first point I want to share with you. The second one is that please do not just talk online. Please give your students some questions and ask your students to participate in, discuss, and collaborate with your students, other students, with their colleagues, with their peers. Peer coaching is very important in teaching online. You have to redesign your tasks, homeworks, and assignments in order to help your students learn more effectively and efficiently. The third point I want to share with you about this question is that you have to help your students to learn actively. You have to encourage and train your students to be a self-motivated and self-regulative learner. It is very, very important, and it will benefit in all his life. As to the tools you want to you needed, actually I recommended a lot of tools during my online talk. You can choose one of them. I cannot give you the best one because there is no best one. There is no best tools or platforms. There is a better one, but there is no best tools according to your own skills, your pedagogy, the size of your classroom, your students' learning, digital competencies, and your school policies. So it depends. I cannot give you the best tools. Thank you so much for your question. It is a good one, and I give you 5 stars for your question. That is the third one. The fourth question, Kathy, and please, I don't know what happened by now because I covered the chat box. Kathy and Julia, please give me a signal 6 in the WeChat and let me know everything is normal. Julia told me there is someone raised hand. Okay. After this question, I will give you a chance to answer questions or comments voicely. This question is that, excuse me, could you please tell me in which software can we initiate the quiz? If you need a quiz, some course management system provided quiz modules, such as in Model, MOODLE, such as UMU, such as CC Talk. They have quiz function. For some kind of live educational broadcasting tools, they did not provide the quiz modules. You need the third-party application in order to have a quiz in your online session. I can give you a lots of this kind of materials. You can use Kahoot if you can use it. If you teach outside of mainland China, you can use Kahoot, Kahoot. You can use GoFormative. You can use 课堂.库. Kathy, please input the URL 课堂.库, KETANG.COOL. That is one of small application which was produced by one of my master students and I a couple of months ago. If you teach in mainland China, I'm sorry, we did not provide it English version by now. Maybe we will do that if we have time. And thank you so much. If you need more help, please, you can you can search from the search engine. There are lots of answers. You are absolutely not the first teacher have this question. You can get help from the internet. Thank you for your question. Okay, and Julia told me there is someone raise hands, and I have to give a chance to share questions voicely. So I have to close the screen share, and there are two people raise hands. Let me give the first one. Please prepare. 古城小 what I'm not sure. I cannot recognize. 古城, please. I give you a mic. Are you prepared? Please. Would you please give us your questions a little bit slow? I am not an English teacher. I get all my degree in mainland China, and my English were taught by non-native language teachers. Thank you. Okay, please. Xiao Chen, you are on the mic now. Please ask your questions. Yeah, you are here. You are already in the room, please. Okay, maybe one of students visit our teaching online session. I'm sorry. A good boy, I'm sorry for that, because it's special for teachers, and thank you so much for your trying, but we don't have enough time, so I have to get back the mic. I'm sorry for that. Next one. Okay. UESTMN. I don't know how to pronounce that. I will give you mic. VES or UESTMN, please. Here is your mic, and you are in the room now, please.
Hi, Johnny. Can you hear me?
Yes, please. A little louder, please.
Okay, great. Johnny, thank you a lot for giving out this lecture. I learned a lot of information today, so thank you a lot. And I have one question. From your slides, I learned that Zoom is very good for the online teaching. So and also I noticed another software is called Schoology. And I just trying to register Schoology through my own Wi-Fi internet, but I cannot access this software. So I would ask if you know that should we have the VPN for using this Schoology? Thank you. That's my question.
Okay, thank you so much for the question. It's a good question, and thank you. Actually, Schoology is a product we produced by an American company in my eyes. I'm not sure. And the server in United States, and it is not easy to access from the mainland China. And I think you may need the third-part service to use that. I'm sorry for that. Okay? Thank you for your question. And there is no voicely question. No one raised hands. And let's go back to our text questions. I will share screen again, and let's look at another one. If you can look at the screen, please input text number 6 in the chat room and let me know what happened. Please input number 6 in the chat room and let me know everything is ready, everything is good, and we will continue our question and answers. Great, thank you so much. Let's look at another one. Let's look at the 5th question. The question is that, I don't know you have already read it or not in the screen, but I have already read it. Let me read it aloud. The question is that does any software that is used to deliver webinar have an electronic whiteboard that can be used during the webinar? Yeah, I have already noticed that. Thank you so much for the question. Actually, the CC Talk have this function. Lots of softwares, tools, and applications who provided live education broadcasting have this kind of modules. I know UMU have, I know Zoom have, I know CC Talk have. So many softwares have this kind of abilities. Of course, if you like, there are the third-part application. You can use whiteboard application. The third-part whiteboard application. You can use that to share with your students. I'm not sure it's easy, organized or not. I think the best way to do that is to choose live education broadcasting tools with whiteboard modules. Thank you so much for your question. Let's look at another one. The sixth question is, will CAIE delay the expected exam date in May? I'm not sure. It's a question out of my knowledge. I'm sorry for that. Julia, would you please give a very quick text answer in the chat box? The friends can get the answer. Meanwhile, I want to tell you, would you please visit the official website of CAIE via www.cambridgeinternational.org to get the information about that. Okay, next one. The next question is a Chinese feedback. That means recommend some softwares. I think the participants recommended Tencent Classroom. I think the one who recommended is the Tencent Classroom. If teachers want to try, you can just download and register account, and you can have a try. And I use it. It's great also. It's cool. Next one. Online conference module of Dean Talk is not smoothly while any students open camera. Anyone also encounters this kind of problem and how to improve? Let me tell you, lots of teachers, include me, have already encountered this kind of embarrassing situations because of very, very busy internet traffic situation in mainland China these days. So you ask how to improve. The solution is you can close all camera. You can close all students' camera at the very beginning. You can open your own camera at the very beginning and give your students a very brief introduction and say hello, just a couple of minutes, and then you close the camera in order to decrease the internet traffic jam. And if some students raise hand, you can give their rights to open the camera. Please do not open all your students' camera. It is not a wise way to teach online. Thank you. The next one, how to hold group discussion during an online class. Actually, there are two ways. There are two ways to run a group discussion. One way is a synchronous group discussion. In course management system, you can post the discussion topics in the CMS, and I encourage your students to do that in their own time. It is not real time, please remember that. It is a synchronous discussion. That is one way to hold a group discussion. Another way to run a group discussion in real time, I mean the synchronous group discussion, is to choose a video conference system such as CC Talk, such as Zoom. They provided group discussion modules. And in this perspective, Zoom is my favorite. It is number one, and it is only one. It is so cool. It is so good. You can run group discussion maybe better than that in your physical classroom, just as what I mentioned now. Okay, next one. Next, the question is that, I'm not sure whether you can say the question in the screen. I'm not sure. Julia, please tell me in our private WeChat dialogue session. Tell me what happened. Is it ready? Is it correct? It is normal. Let's look at the next question. That is, which is the most popular online easily accessible platform? That is QQ and WeChat, provided by Tencent. If you are access from mainland China, it is so easy. I think Ding Talk is great. I think Zoom is great. CC Talk is great. You can choose one of them. Okay, let's look at the next question. The next question is, how do we incorporate different activities during an online session? It is very, very good and challengeable and difficulty questions. It is a good one. So I give you 5 stars. Thank you so much. But I'm sorry, I cannot tell you in this session because this is a challengeable difficulty questions, and it is related to the instructional system design special for teaching online. And it will maybe the next topic we will share with you if we have time. Maybe we can share this topic, which I'm sorry for that. And I will have some sessions, maybe, I'm not sure, later. Please notice my homepage of CC Talk. Thank you so much for your question. And the next one, it is pretty sure Blackboard needs a VPN to access from China. Actually, you did not need a VPN because Blackboard, there is a server provided by Blackboard in mainland China. I know Blackboard have some kind of cooperation with a company in Beijing, but now I'm not sure if there are any server in China. If they don't have, maybe you need a VPN. I'm not sure. You can check about that. Maybe we can double check about that. Thank you. Okay, next one, maybe the last one because we don't have enough time. Next one, the biggest issue I see is around feedback and assessments. Any ideas how we can effectively give relevant feedback on individuals or conduct fair assessment during this time? I don't know what is this time. There are two situations. One is real time, just like what we have now. That is this time in my eyes. Real time synchronous session. It is not easy actually because your attention is limited. You pay attention to one student, maybe another one will be ignored. But you can do that in the course management system in a synchronous way because your students can ask you questions. That is the first ideas I want to share with you. The second point I want to share with you is that you can encourage your students to help each other. Peer coaching and peer assessment is very, very important. And I learned this experience 20 years ago from a Chinese language teacher from Hunan. This teacher taught Chinese students writing in a peer assessment way, effective and efficient way. So you have to encourage your students to help each other, to have peer coaching, peer assessment, peer grading. It is very, very good. The third point I want to share with you is that for some good course management system, they have very, very strong function for machine automatic assessment for you. You need that. You need that. If you got this 3 points, I think you will give you more time and you will teach more innovative and effective. Okay, that is this question answer for this question, my feedback. I hope you can benefit. And if you have any ideas about that, please you can follow this session in the chat box or in the platform. Maybe you can discuss this further in the Cambridge WeChat group. I'm sorry, I don't think we have enough time. We have already passed a couple of minutes. I'm sorry for that. The teacher's assistant told me that I have already over time. I'm sorry for that. Now I have to give a very, very quick conclusion. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear me, please input number 6 in the chat box and let me know you are there. Please, thank you so much. Please input number 6 in the chat box and let me know you are here. And thank you so much. I'm sorry I postponed the online talk, and you have so many questions, and I have to finish the question and answer session. And thank you so much for your participating. It is great experience, and I hope this is the beginning. We have to finish the online talk, and I hope this is the beginning of the conversation and not the end. And I hope this is the beginning of our friendship. And for thank you so much for your engaging. Thank you so much for your participating, and thank you so much for sharing your experience. And we have to give huge thanks to our great organizer, Cambridge Assessment International Education. We have to special thanks to Jiao and Julia and our colleagues who made this online talk happen. And by now, I noticed that we have 1,598 participants. And a huge thanks to Zhao Jing and Cambridge Assessment International Education for organizing this special online talk. It is absolutely a special experience to share my thoughts and experience with so many friends, so many fabulous Cambridge teachers and other teachers from mainland China, as well as teachers at abroad. As I mentioned to Julia a couple of days ago, I got all my degree in mainland China, and I never ever accepted English as a foreign language training at abroad. So I'm excited. I'm absolutely a little bit nervous to talking with you guys. So many English teachers, English language experts in English. I'm sorry for that. In my eyes, it is just like a little girl to teach her grandma how to cook. Anyway, I finished it, and I know there is at the end of the session. I have to Julia prepared. I'm sorry, I have to mention that Julia and the Cambridge Assessment International Education prepared a feedback survey at the end of the talk. Please, Julia, would you please input the link of the feedback survey in the chat box, as well as the QR code. I show it there. And Cambridge International welcome everybody to provide your feedback in order to provide better services for you later. And please fill in the survey. There's a link, www.wenjuan.com/s/fbvrfq/ or the link provided by Cassie and Julia in the chat box. Just click the link, or you can scan the QR code in my screen, in the right corner. It will last for a couple of minutes. It's very easy for you. Please just fill in the feedback. It is very important for the organizer to organize next time, this kind of event next time. And please remember that at the end of the survey, please input your email box address. And if you input your email box address, Julia will provide you the slides I used it, as well as other materials maybe Julia provided for you. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Have a good day. And maybe we can meet at the day after tomorrow. Maybe you have noticed that the day after tomorrow, Cambridge Assessment International Education have planned another online talk and about 7 tips for preparing to teach online. And I will give the talk in Mandarin at that time. The slides will be re-edited and reorganized. And I hope we can meet at the afternoon of the day after tomorrow in the online talk. And I thank you, Cambridge International. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, all friends, all 1,625 participants. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kathy, for your kind help. Thank you, Julia, for your kind help. Thank you so much for friends. You contributed your feedback, questions, and comments. And I think our conversation will be continued, and our friendship will be deepened and deepened later. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a good day. Thank you. And I have closed the live broadcasting now. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you.